That comment is about a post I did about trans athletes and Gavin Newsom. His comments this week on his podcast and recent polling that shows that 2/3 of Democrats agree with Gavin Newsom. So you mentioned swimming. So let's talk about what Republicans use as far as trans athletes, trans people, to beat the left over the head with it. This past week, we saw the State of the Union address. There was a mother who was invited because allegedly her child's middle school in Florida, she and her husband sued the school for conspiring behind her back to change their child's gender. Emails from the mother that predate that lawsuit show that the mother informed the school that their then daughter was now identifying as non binary, wanted to use they them pronouns, and wished to go by a different name. So that lawsuit was thrown out for failure to state a case. That was debunked before the State of the Union. That mother still got an invite to the State of the Union because Donald Trump knows his followers are stupid and gullible and mean. There was another woman who was invited to the State of the Union address who was a college volleyball player and claimed that a trans opponent on an opposing volleyball team had spiked the volleyball into her head so hard that she had a traumatic brain injury and was forced to stop competing in all sports at the collegiate level. When she made these claims, she was continuing to participate in collegiate sports, in softball and volleyball. So clearly, she didn't have a traumatic brain injury. She was still competing at a collegiate level. That was debunked before the State of the Union. That woman still got invited. That brings us to Riley Gaines, a Kentucky faced blonde potato who is a collegiate swimmer who has built an entire career based on a collegiate swimmer named Lia Thomas. Lia Thomas was a collegiate swimmer who competed as a man during the 2018-2019 season and then transitioned to female Lia Thomas. And Riley Gaines has built an entire career out of being an anti-trans athlete, right-wing MAGA person. She has become an outspoken conservative activist. She felt violated by being forced to share a locker room with a trans athlete, and recalled the humiliating experience of sharing a locker room with a trans woman who was fully naked in that locker room. That swimmer, Lia Thomas, when Lia competed as a male in the 2018-2019 season, ranked 554th in the 200 freestyle, ranked 65th in the freestyle, and 32nd in the 1650 freestyle. In the 2021-2022 season, after she had transitioned to female and was competing as a woman, she was fifth in the 200 freestyle, so she went up approximately 550 positions when she was competing against women, and eighth in the 1650 freestyle. And so that case, more than anything, is the one that the right uses to bash the left over the head when it comes to trans athletes. And regardless of how you feel about that, clearly transitioning over the course of one summer was not enough to do away with the physical advantage of being a biological male, as is reflected in the increase in rank in situations like that. So, but, again, it's like I think the main issue here is, everybody on TikTok especially has been just dragging Gavin Newsom all over the place for his comments when the vast majority of the American public agrees with him and 2/3 of Democrats agree with him. And I think we really need to be focusing our efforts on talking to those 2/3 of Democrats who agree with Gavin Newsom rather than making TikToks bashing him.